Hi there, this is Kenneth B. and you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Okay, well, today we are doing a review on the Heritage Air Fryer Convection Oven. I bought this one at Canadian Tire with my own money. And the reason why I went to Canadian Tire is because they had actually a large selection. They had the Ninjas, they had actually two different kind of Ninjas. They had the Breville, they had other ones, and I went through all of them and I noticed that some of them felt cheap, some of them didn't feel so good. They had a display model of every one, and I kind of like this one. So I'm going to unbox it and show you what's in the box. So it says here, maximum heat airflow, lean cooking, no oil. So yeah, here we go. So let's get into this box. I'm sure there's some styrofoam underneath here. And yes, I'm using a knife, regular knife, instead of a okay. It says place the, let me just do something here. It says place the air fryer and convection oven on flat level surface, inch or 2 to 4 inches. Some of these also require that you do a 20-minute burn-in so that you burn off any chemicals during the manufacturing process. So we'll see if that applies to this one, but looks like we have plastic and stuff in there. So anyways, we'll get let's get this thing out of the box. Okay, so we've got the instruction manual now. We have a cage. I did pick up some french fries, so I'm going to try some french fries because I noticed when I do them in the regular oven they are very soggy. It says here something I can win $1,000. Don't know what that's all about, but not counting on winning $1,000. That would be amazing. Spending, oh yes, I spent 200 and change on this, so roughly 225 I think it was. So I'd have to look at the receipt. I think, oh wait a minute, do I have the receipt in my pocket? I think I do. So let's get the receipt out. Came to 270, oops, 271. Here, I don't want to cover up the personal information there. Let me go back. It's not focusing. There we go. 271.17. This is after all your taxes in Canada. So sorry about the blurry photo, but yeah. And oh, that was not just the air fryer though. There was a few other items on there. I think I had $8.99. So $8.99 of that. You know, so roughly 260 bucks. The most expensive air fryers are roughly about $500, and the cheapest ones are 54 bucks. Do not buy a $54 toaster oven. You will not be happy. Don't buy the $500 one unless you're feeling really rich. I went middle of the road. So this is middle of the road, okay, for real blue collar people. Okay, so it has a 3-prong outlet. It also says that this part of the surface can get warm or hot. So if you touch this while you're cooking, you might get yourself a little bit of a burn. I noticed that there might be a little tiny bit of a dent here. I don't know if that's part of the manufacturing, but it's not a huge deal breaker for me, as nobody really looks there anyway. So let's get this thing plugged in and take a look at it. So what we are doing is what they call a cook-off with the manufacturing process. This particular oven did not say that I needed to do that. Nowhere in the instructions did it say, hey, by the way, run it for 15 or 20 minutes and cook off whatever chemicals may be on the rack or the other one. So there's a crumb tray down there. However, I decided to do that regardless, because it's just a smart thing to do. Also wanted to see what the temperatures we're going to get at. I noticed that the glass is already hot to touch. Like, you touch that, it's just like touching an oven. You can plug it into a power bar, so you can do that. Don't know if that's, affects the performance in any way, but I do have a power bar on there. So I got my microwave underneath it. So this is just a standard Black & Decker microwave. So I'm just checking to see the temperatures all around. This is cool around the top and the sides. Oh, a little bit warm there. A little bit warm on this side. Right around this area. This side here I can touch towards the front. It says 2 to 4 inches space. This is exactly 4 inches. I'm giving it. It fits perfectly on my microwave. Now underneath, I'm going to see if underneath is hot. It is not that bad. A little bit warm, but not too bad. Because it is sitting on another appliance, I wanted to make sure that we can pull this off, right? Also want to know if I can put anything on top of it. Now, given all this electronics here, that's one of the reasons why I picked it. Because I do want to put my coffee machine and my other toaster on top of it. So, yeah, I want to make sure that that wouldn't get destroyed. And given the fact that you have all this electronics here, I know that there had to be some kind of insulation in there preventing that. So yes, this is not too bad. It's very tolerable. It's a little bit warm. I'm going to get my meter and just show you what we're dealing with. Okay, so let's see what we're dealing with on temperature. Right now, glass is at 140. Yeah, roughly 140 on the glass. On the top, we're dealing with 32 degrees, which is pretty good. This part is 29. Okay, now this part is warm. Watch this one. This one here gets very hot. I noticed, what was it, right there? Yeah. Right where the vent is. So because it's stainless, it's reflecting a little bit. So I think that's not that accurate on that one. It's closer to this, which would be 145. This side here, let me see, 30. But this side here, I notice is probably pretty warm too. Yeah, it's roughly 45. It's pretty much what it is, leaking out the door right there. So you're looking at about 47, 42. I'd say it's a little bit warmer than that. The back is a little bit warm too. Ow, ouch, that is hot. My mistake. So, yeah, the back is 57, 59, 56, and I would say it's even hotter than that. Why the idiot in me wanted to touch it, I have no idea. So it's over 60. So yeah, you will burn yourself. I'm not burned, it was just hot to touch, that's all. Not burned, just an idiot. So it's climbing up to its maximum temperature of 450 degrees, because I believe that's as hot as this thing goes. And right now we're at 168, 185 Celsius. This is Celsius, by the way. So let me just get the computer. 185 Celsius into Fahrenheit.
185 degrees Celsius is 365 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, so Alexa, computer, 400 and
I don't know that.
Computer, 450 degrees Fahrenheit into Celsius.
450 degrees Fahrenheit is about 232.2 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so 232 is 450. So let's see if we're getting there. I'm going to open up the door and see. 242. Computer, 450 Fahrenheit into Celsius.
450 degrees Fahrenheit is about 232.2 degrees Celsius.
So she'll go higher than that. She's going higher than the 232. Going about 10 degrees higher. So she's pretty much underrated. I'd say she's pushing 500 Fahrenheit. This little oven's got some power in it. And if I open the door, everything still stays on. So you got to be very careful. Yeah, we're looking at 245, you know. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Okay, so that's it for the temperature test. I'm going to up to 35 on the top. This part here is going to be, yeah, got some temperature on the side there. So yeah, a little bit of leakage on the edges of the doors. Now the only thing I don't like about these particular ovens is that when you open the door, any crumbs and whatever is going to get on top of the door. But the front, the bifold doors, the ones that you open on the sides, they leak heat right down the middle. It shoots right out. So not too happy with those, but less crumbs to deal with on that. But then you're just going to get crumbs all over your floor. So it's a little complicated to use when you're setting it. I'm going to go over that too. Like I said, I'm just doing a burn off right now. I can smell some residual chemicals, but it's very, very small. Let me just look at the air cleaner. It says I'm at 61. Hang on, pause. Okay, so 62 on the particle per million. I was at about 40 when we started. So still in the blue. It's probably going to start turning red soon because it would say that, hey, you know, that's a little bit much. And but yeah, you have to do that initial burn off. It's not a horrible odor. It's not the complaints that we would see on the Ninja. So, but yeah, you can definitely smell something burning off. Alright, so that's it for that part. Okay, now we're going to try some French fries. Because that's what any red-blooded Canadian would do, is either have fries or poutine. So, I just put the, actually, I'm going to show you what I did, because I just started it anyway. So we're going to cancel it. That's how you cancel it. It shuts it right off. So, you'll hit this button again to turn it on. You'll go function, turn the dial, go over to the picture of the French fry. See the picture of the French fry? It tells you how much time to put it in for, it tells you the temperature, and then you just hit start. And then this flashes. So some people might think, well, if that flashes, there's something wrong, and that's what I thought initially, but if that's flashing, then it's working. It shows the picture of the French fry, it goes on convection, and then that's it. So we'll end up cooking for an extra minute. That's what they look like inside right now. You can spy on your French fries all you want, and that is perfectly acceptable. So I will keep an eye on them. I might stop them a minute sooner just because of this, starting it over. But anyways, we'll check them out after 15 minutes. So they were frozen when I put them in. Half a bag of your standard grocery store French fries, straight cut, not crinkle. Okay, so it finished. Okay, well, the fries are done. Let's take a look and see what they look like. Turn on the light. Oh, I guess you have to. Well, the light doesn't work unless you're in the middle of cooking. Oh, okay, well, that's interesting. I know that the light also times out, which is actually a good thing when you're cooking. So I'm gonna just put on a glove. So let's excuse the one-handed operation here. So what I will do to keep the crumbs off the glass is pull this out first, and then, oh, they came out pretty good. How about that? So when I cook these in my oven, my regular oven, I usually have to preheat it 15 minutes. I put them in, I take them out, and they are not crispy like that. They are definitely not crispy. Oh, pretty good. So, could use a little salt and ketchup, but other than that, they're fine. So, anyways, they turned out okay. I'm quite happy with that. They brown it. Now, I would imagine you get more browning from underneath if this pan wasn't in there, but you definitely don't want to have a mess of crumbs and stuff in there. That's the way I feel about it. There is another crumb tray in there underneath this, but it doesn't have this long, you know, I just think this will be easier to clean in the long run. So, but it does have a crumb tray. So I'm going to put this on top for a second, and then we will put in a pizza and see how good that turns out. Okay, so now the pizza. This is a deluxe pizza, measuring at 12 inches. Yes, I do have a tape measure. And we're going to put that in because it looks like that will fit. Even if I was to just put it in box and all, it still fits. And you kind of want to know that about your toaster oven slash pizza maker slash air fryer before you buy them, because they do have smaller models that cannot accept a 12-inch deluxe Delissio pizza. Okay, so remember that. Okay, so the pizza's in. As you can see, it is in fact a deluxe pizza, which is very important. And if you look at the line here, it tells you that pizza goes on this rack. So now we are going to cook the pizza. Now, as I said before, the starting and stopping of this is a little confusing, but once you get past it, it's okay. It's just, you know, until you get used to it, because we're kind of pre-programmed as human beings. When things are blinking, it means it's not set yet, or it's in the setting position. So I don't know why they did it that way, but they did. So procedure: hit start, hit function, turn the dial, this dial here, okay, over till you see the pizza blink. It'll say 15 minutes. All you do is you hit start. When this is flashing, your instinct will be something's not right, it's not working. But that's not true. It is. When this is flashing, it means everything is normal, it's on. This is blinking and it's starting to count down. It's on low fan speed, it's cooking the pizza. Now you can operate the light. That's how you know that it's running, because when the machine is off, the light won't turn on and off. So, and by the way, it shuts off on its own. It times out after a certain time, so if you forget and leave it on, it'll turn itself off, which is kind of a nice thing, because, you know, you leave your lights on and hey, you know, this thing will just kind of look after itself. So just remember, when that's blinking, that means that it's actually working. So this will be blinking, that'll say pizza, this will say, let's see, look, it's counting down. That's the other reason why I noticed it. It took me a little while to figure that out. It does say that in the instructions, but I'm like, why would this be blinking? It should be solid. We've all been kind of pre-programmed as human beings that when that's blinking, it means you're supposed to be adjusting something. So it's a little quirk on this. It's probably the only thing I don't like about it, but I can live with that, and once you get used to it, it's fine. So good news is, if you bought one of these and you have roommates, they'll never be able to figure it out. So they'll just keep turning it off. I know I was doing that. So you can adjust the speed of the fan. if you want, and you can change the amount of time. So if you want to add more time to your pizza, you can, but this is the preset. It automatically knows, you know, what the good time for pizza is. The 15 minutes on the fries, they came out perfect. So I'm going to see if 15 minutes is good enough for this pizza. And if it is, it's way faster than my oven, because like I said, it would be 15 minutes to preheat, and then it would be another 20-25 minutes to cook. Plus you always got to watch it and make sure it's not, you know, burning up. This is also going to brown it a little better than the oven was doing. So it's a smaller thing, doesn't use as much electricity. I'm hoping that it actually saves me money on my power bill too, which would be good. Alright, well, we'll see how the pizza turns out in exactly 13 minutes. Okay, so we're checking on the pizza. Looks like it says 2 minutes left. And you see that little glow down there? That is the element at the bottom. There's also an element at the top. And it would appear that the pizza is cooking okay. You know, it's getting brown. It's not getting burnt. You know, so it's actually regulating the top element so that, yes, it's getting crispy, but it doesn't want it too hot where it's going to scorch it. So we will see how this goes. It's gonna, we got about 1 minute left, so it's pretty much done. See, it turned off the light all by itself, so I didn't have to worry about that. And it will let you know. Might as well show you what it sounds like when it's finished. I can wait about a minute here and I'll get it done. But the pizza looks pretty good. Not too bad. You can see a little bit of steam coming out of there. Cooking. So, not too bad. And there you go. And then as you can see, there's a fan that ramps up, and it's like an exhaust fan. It's like, hey, you got to get the fumes or whatever out of here, and it vents it out. And it also wants to cool off the oven and, you know, cool things down so you can handle them, which is actually kind of an interesting feature. I don't know if the other ovens do that or not. If I try to turn on the light, see, the light doesn't work now. Whenever it's off, you can't just turn the light on. If I open the door, I can't turn the light on. You should be able to turn the light on if you open the door. I think that would be a good thing to do. I think they kind of got a, you know, they made a mistake on that. So, however, looks like the pizza is cooked. I'm going to pull it out. Just give me a second. So that's the pizza all cooked. And if I wanted to add some more time, I could. It looks like it is done. It is brown, but not too brown. It's not burnt. Looks like they've timed it out just about right. So we'll have to cut it into it and see what that's like. Okay, so in conclusion, I would say that everything turned out pretty good. I tried some of the pizza, crispy on the outside. You know, it's more chewy on the inside. You know, you could add a few minutes if you want to, but you could just adjust the time on the function, so not a problem there. The door didn't get all covered in crumbs. I would imagine that's a little more difficult when you're dealing with things like toast, because I don't know if you can put that crumb tray in there for toast. We'll try that maybe sometime. If I run into any problems, I'll let you know. This little button over here is just your open and close switch. So I think that could have been a little bit better quality, but I think actually it feels pretty solid, so I think it's okay. All in all, I'm happy with it. I think at $200 plus tax, like $250, not too bad.